What is going on, everyone? It's LFC Transfer Room here, and we are on the build-up to the Benfica game. Just one more day to go until we find out if we make it through to the next round. I'm joined today by Damon and Arnov. This is the first time this trio has been put together. How are you doing today, Damon?
All good, mate. All good. I've recovered from Sunday, so get on to tomorrow now.
And Arnov, were you disappointed by Sunday, or is it just everything's still on the table, isn't it? So it's kind of not disappointment. It's just, but it's not in our hands anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think going into the game, I had a lot more confidence, but after watching the events unfold, I think I'll take a draw, especially after that Mara's miss and Sterling's offside goal. I'll take a draw. Decent result.
Yeah. We won't go into it too much. Salah just needs to find his form back for me. And I just think he starts sparkling again. The running just gets a whole lot easier. Make sure that, you like, subscribe. We're here on the chat. We'll bring anything on that's that you're commenting on. But I want to start today, before we go into the Benfica match. Spirit of Shankly have announced a statement on the Champions League reform, calling it the Super League by the back door. The proposal has been slammed by the Supporters Association on Tuesday as people across the country prepare to be gripped by cost of living. The European Cup will follow a new format that sees the total number of participants increase from 32 to 36, with the group stages set to be replaced by a single league that includes all clubs. Each team will play at least 10 league games, with the top 8 qualifying to knockout, while 2 places will be given to UEFA coefficient over the previous 5 years. So it's a way to get Man United in it through the back door from them not qualifying. Damon, UEFA played this big ethical game when the Super League got announced, going, and then they've snuck it in through the back door so that they can make the cash from it, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. Super League, I wasn't up for that idea at all. But the more this UEFA thing comes out, the more I'm sort of edging towards European Super League, even though it's all about money. There's nothing wrong with the Champions League the way it is now. There's never been nothing wrong with it. 32 teams in 8 groups. It's absolutely perfect. There's no reason to add more teams. There's no reason to bring in teams that have not qualified and deserve to be in there. It just rules out fair competition, really, because there's teams like West Ham and Wolves and Leicester that are really pushing for top 4, and it'd be pointless them doing it because people like Man United having a bad season, they'll just get it back door, like you said.
And Arnov, we're not going to, let's say, for example, we're not going to win the league. We're not going to really give a crap about finishing in the top 4, are we? Because we're going to get in through the coefficient score from us being so strong in the Champions League so many years. So,
I think
domestic league.
Yeah, no, I think it's totally unfair, especially when we go back to like all the calamitous events that were going on with the Super League and how they transpired. All of the top 6 in the Prem, all their owners and delegates coming out saying, "Oh, we're so ashamed of what we did," and apologizing. However, now doing it in such a snivy and such a conniving way is something it will destroy. It will destroy the like Damon said, the guile of even West Ham trying to get into the Champions League, but also it just gives teams like ourselves and like Man United, potentially even Arsenal as well, the chance to just get in without even having to do anything. And thus this idea that football is such a meritocratic sport, which it always has been, to just throw that all out the window for this Super League, in effect, is totally outrageous. And I think it's just another way to make money in this cash cow that is UEFA.
Yeah, no, I think if I was one of these big, these Super League originators, I'd be pretty annoyed, because I'd be like, so what you're telling us is we can create the Super League as long as we give away 20% of the profits to UEFA for them to give bribes so that people can, and they can earn money from all this. What could be done, Damon? I can't think of what could be done for this.
I think the only thing that can get done is fans protesting, because it worked the first time with the Super League. I don't think clubs realise how big fans have a say in what we do. I mean, Man United are going to do it again this weekend out there with the protest of Glazers. I mean, I know it might not shift the Glazers, but it really gives a big statement out, and it really shows you know, if without fans, you're nothing really. If we stop going to games and things like that, they're not going to be able to cope with keeping the business afloat. Really, that's what they're using it as. They're using us as a business. That's what FSG are doing. That's what Glaze are doing. That's what Conkers are doing. And if we stop giving them the money, they're not going to keep up the business. So yeah, I think protest is probably the way forward. Other than that, it's probably legal issues, if anything. If UEFA are going to go that route, and that we've only got two routes of Super League or UEFA, then we're stuck in you're picking a worse of a bad situation, aren't you? Really?
Yeah. There's no. What bugs me, Arnov, is there's no diplomacy in football. We as fans, we don't get a say. There's, we've got these supporters groups like Spirit of Shankly who are fantastic, and our club listens to our supporters groups, but UEFA could not give two expletive there, could they, about what fans want?
Nah, for sure. And they've shown it throughout the years, like the expansion of even now the Champions League, but also just the events being located in such odd and hostile places. Like a couple of years back, the Europa League being in, I think it was Baku in Azerbaijan. And then also this year's Champions League was actually meant to be in St. Petersburg before all the events happened there. And thus, like, even the traveling for fans and also just the moving of times and schedules is just something that UEFA don't really care about. And I think that, like Damon's saying, the protest is, I think, the only way forward, as UEFA have shown consistently that they're only in it for the money. And this expansion and all this negative uproar about the Super League, that when it came out and how they had the fans' best interest at heart, has just shown to be all absolutely a farce. And now they're doing this, expanding it to 36 teams, and also this league format is just going to take a toll on the players, but also the fans that go to games. And it takes the competition out of sport if the coefficient system as well. So it's just, as Damon said, the way to get rid is only protest.
And sort of moving towards the Champions League, because it's kind of leading us onto there. You'd almost need two teams, wouldn't you? You'd need one to play in the Champions League type format, and then you'd need one to play in the domestic league. What they're in essence trying to do, I think, is turn the Premier League into the League Cup, where you play all your kids in there and you bring them through. But don't worry too much about it unless you're going to win the league.
Yeah. Treat
it like the League Cup, go for the FA Cup, go for... No, it could be good for youth development, though, couldn't it, Damon? Or am I trying to put a cherry on a pig?
Yeah, you're sprinkling... You're definitely sprinkling some sort of dust on that, aren't you? It's just going to ruin football, isn't it? It might be good for the youth teams, but we've already got like a PL 2, haven't we, for youth teams, and we've got proper under-23 leagues and a good competition in those leagues, to be honest, at the moment. So no, it's just all a cash cow, like Arnov said. And it's just going to ruin English football. English football is from the foundation upwards, from grassroots, and it's just turned it into a franchise. We don't want a franchise, That's for American sports, and we're just not that, are we?
Talking about cash cows, Jen, super sticker, £4.49. Thank you very much. That's what this channel is. We are pretty much draining Jen's bank account on a weekly basis. She always likes to give us a bit of a super sticker, so thank you very much for that. Bayern against Yellow Submarines, Arnov. They're 1-0 up, Villarreal, aren't they? Do you think we'll be playing Villarreal, or do you think we'll be playing Bayern?
No, I think Bayern will just have a bit too much going forward. However, the Villarreal performance at the El Madrigal was a very good match, actually, and they could have scored a couple more. Moreno was unlucky to not score with Davies' blocked attempt, but then I think Villarreal also fielded a totally different 11 on the weekend as well, and thus that could be quite interesting. And if we do get Villarreal, I just look forward to City, or I don't know who will win today, but City or Chelsea in the final, I reckon, if Chelsea go through. But yeah, I don't think they'll have enough going forward, especially like we saw in the last round as well with Salzburg against Bayern, when Salzburg, I think they were 1-0 up. Well, they had a good result, and then the second leg, Bayern demolished them 7-1. So I think similar story will happen. Obviously not 7-1, but they will go through.
And Damon, I mean, we were talking about this before we went live. The fact that the Spanish league's in disarray to some degree. Obviously, Real Madrid are giving a good show of themselves against Chelsea. The PSG are out. Is the German league and is Bayern Munich as strong as everyone actually thinks they are?
I don't think they're as strong as what everyone says they are. I mean, Bayern Munich, they're being lauded as good as Man City and Liverpool at times. So they're not on Liverpool and Man City's level. I've always said Liverpool and Man City have set a level now where there's a big gap between them and the rest of them. I mean, Chelsea are probably the closest at the moment, and even them are just a bit behind. Bayern Munich going forward are unbelievable, but at the back they're so dodgy and they're so open, and it's just there for the taking, really. I'm not really bothered who we play, to be honest, whether it Bayern Munich or Villarreal. I think La Liga will be coming back, though, with Barcelona looking much better now under Xavi. Real Madrid are always going to be a force, and if they get someone like Mbappe, Haaland next year, I mean, the Galacticos could be back. I mean, that would be unbelievable. If Barcelona and Real Madrid came back with this Liverpool Man City team now, that would be really good for Europe.
Now, Arnov, I may be wrong here, and someone will put me right in chat, but I think I've seen that Lewandowski is joining Barcelona in a 3-year deal at the end of the season.
Yeah, I saw similar to what you've seen, James. And if so, that is the case. I think I look at Barcelona and do question, like, they brought in Depay, Aubameyang on probably high wages as well, and now adding Lewandowski to the mix. I feel like that could be again an issue with financial fair play and also with the issues that they had financially. But if so, like Damon was saying, like we could see a return of the Galacticos if Mbappe and Haaland do move to La Liga, and then essentially now Lewandowski, who apparently is unhappy with the contract renewal situation that Bayern have offered, and thus if he does move to Bayern, it will be an interesting move. But alongside Aubameyang and Depay, who are probably on high wages, it seems as though Bayern are just making the issue a lot more for themselves, even going forward. So,
the little Brazilian's got to go back on about 400 grand a week, doesn't he, as well? So, and I think La Liga's now got the rule where it's got to be 70% of your income, your wages as a maximum, and that's the rule that everyone's got to follow. But fans are back in the stadium. They've obviously got 120,000. So they might be starting to generate a lot more than they did in the COVID year. So they might be able to take on some of these players. But I want to move on. I want to move on to Liverpool Benfica. It feels like we've got one foot in, doesn't it, Damon? You know, we're 3-1 up. We look comfortable. Is tomorrow just going to be sort of a procession all the way through? Do you bring out Minamino? Do you bring out the Ox? Do you sort of play some of the squad players, or do you take it seriously, get over the line and get it done?
I think you need a mixture, to be honest. I think we need to take it seriously. We need to finish it off, but we need to use this game as a chance to rest players like Salah and Mane, because we've got 7 cup finals left in the league. We've got FA Cup semi-final. We've got the semi-final of the Champions League if we go through anyway. We've got so many big games coming up, and we cannot afford to drop them in those sort of games. So tomorrow is a perfect opportunity to rest players. 2-goal lead going back to Anfield. I cannot see Benfica overturning that. It's Anfield as well. It's impossible. I wouldn't even see them overturning it at their ground. Never mind at Anfield.
I'd be confident if we were 3-1 down, to be honest.
Yeah. I'd be confident going through as well. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've done it against Barcelona, so Benfica shouldn't be too hard. I wouldn't play Minamino, but I would play something like Bobby Firmino and Jota, but I wouldn't play Salah. Salah needs his rest. I think even Mane needs a rest. The amount of minutes they've played for AFCON and the World Cup qualifiers, I mean, Salah did 120 minutes 4 times. He did 120 minutes again in the World Cup playoff with Senegal and Egypt. So they both had 120 minutes there. They need the rest. I won't be worried about if we play Minamino or even Origi. We should get the job done tomorrow.
Now, I'm going to play a bit of devil's advocate on what Damon said here. Mo Salah just needs to get a goal from open play to get himself going again. Do you start him with the aim to take him off after 50, 60 minutes and let him try and get that goal and get it going again? Because let's face it, Benfica's easier than Man City. And if we can get him firing before Man City, happy days. Do you start him and then bring him off, or do you bring him on when we're cruising? What would you do? That's
an interesting take. To be honest, personally, I think that we should give Mo a rest. due to the fact that, as Damon said, he's played so many minutes. He's played so many minutes in AFCON and also in the World Cup qualifier as well. Like going 120 minutes 4 times in the last month and a half, 2 months is quite tough. But also, as you say, I think his second half against City, he played decent. Like his assist to Sadio was really good, but also his pass to Jota, which he unfortunately couldn't put in the back of the net, was also really good. And thus, I think you can get a bit of confidence from that. But also, yeah, it's understandable to say if he gets a goal, and I said the same as well during the City game, but I mean, I think I'd rather rest him and hopefully he can take all the glory on Saturday as well. So I think it is tough because if he does keep getting worn down, I think he does deserve a break from the firing line. But of course, if he's raring to go, then I think give him max till 60 minutes and then take him off after that. But I wouldn't start him personally. I'd go with as Damon said, Origi or Minute. I'd start Taki or Divock this game.
And Damon, with Jota, I feel like he's been getting a bit of a rough ride of it recently. You know, they've been playing the front three, but he's the second highest scorer in the Premier League. He pretty much scores every time he plays, but they don't seem to just. He doesn't seem to get 90 minutes at the moment since Diaz has come in. Is this the perfect opportunity? Jota up front, build the other two around him who's available, and just let him shine.
You know, I prefer Jota from the left, to be honest. I think he gets in the box more as a false nine under Jurgen Klopp. You sort of need to drop deep and drop into the midfield area. And I don't think that's where he plays the best of his ability. If he's on the left wing, he gets into the box a bit more. And that's where he is a bit of a poacher, isn't he? So, I'd rather play Bobby, I think, at false nine, and maybe Jota on the left, and maybe even try Diaz on the right, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I haven't seen. We've seen Jota try from the right, and it's just not worked, has it, Arnov? So I think he's right. It's either centre or it's from the left. But giving Diaz a chance on the right or playing Minamino on the right. The two, what are you going with?
I reckon we should start Taki for this game. Definitely. I think on the right he could potentially get a goal, and I think it could do him with some good confidence, even though he's not in obviously in the line the firing squad to actually play. But I think it could do him some confidence going forward. And in the next few games we've got 7 cup finals as mentioned as well. So I think having a squad as full on confidence as possible is very important. And if we got a chance like tomorrow to play Taki, to play Divock, to play a lot of the squad players as you like, and I think the more they gain confidence, and if they can put a good performance out tomorrow, even like Harvey Elliott and maybe even Curtis as well, if they can get a game in, then I do them the world of good as well to get the points, get a good solid win, and maybe even a clean sheet tomorrow at Anfield. So I think it'd be a good time to give them some confidence.
So who's your midfield three then? Because you mentioned Jones. Do you bring the Ox in?
Yeah, I think Curtis, Ox, and maybe Naby or Milner, maybe Naby or James. But I'd definitely give Thiago and Fabinho a rest. I reckon he might give Henderson a rest, but to be honest, as long as we've put a decent squad out, I think that those three in midfield could do the job. But I think he'll definitely start Elliott or Curtis tomorrow, I think. Whether he starts Ox or not, I'm not too sure about. And Naby, he may even play, so it could be tough.
What about you, Damon? For me, I think with Arnov's, we're missing that anchor. It's normally either Henderson or it's Fabinho, isn't it? It's one or the other.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking Henderson at number 6 and the rest Fabinho because he's played as many minutes as Salah at some points. I'd go Henderson at 6, and I would play Keita and Elliott. If I'm honest, I'd love to see them two play next to each other and go in attacking, and let Henderson sweep up then.
Elliott's not been getting much minutes recently, has he, Damon?
No. That's
a bit
perfect opportunity tomorrow to really see what he's about in the Champions League. Yeah.
And then, Damon, I'll stick with you. Back 4. Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, which is what it was against Benfica.
I would rest Trent, if I'm honest. I'd play Gomez at right back. He didn't have too bad of a game, did he, against Benfica last time? But we need Trent. We need Trent fit for these games. He's so important to where we play, where we attack. We cannot afford to lose him. And it's a pointless game to play tomorrow. I would go Gomez at right back. I'd stick Robbo, maybe Tsimikas. I'd be happy with either, to be honest. Tsimikas is just as good. At the back, I'd probably invest Verge. I would give it Kanate, Matip.
Rest Verge.
Oh,
wow.
I don't think he ever would. But
yeah,
when does he get a chance to rest?
Yeah,
well, when he plays teams like Benfica, surely, where all he's got to do is stroll around at 2 miles an hour, pinging balls. Would you trust? Suprit's got it here in the chat. We need to play our strongest 11. Are we taking Benfica too lightly, Arnov? Or are we just going, we'll cruise past these, so let's bring out all the squad players and let's focus on Man City in the FA Cup? Are we potentially risking our place in the Champions League next round, or is it because we got 5 subs? If things go left, we can pretty much get it changed.
Well, I think we have to understand that the last Benfica game that they played was against the bottom of the league, and they actually rested 6 players. And though they conceded a goal early on, Nunes finished the business, scored another hat trick, and came off by the 72nd minute. And thus, I think they had the best game out of anyone they could have played, whereas we had City, and our players are very tired. And thus, it might be right about being a bit complacent. However, I think with a 2-goal lead at Anfield, I think we can take it lightly, and the real challenge will be City in the semi-final. But of course, like Damon's saying, I think we should start a good attack. But I think that if we start one of the 3 big hitters, maybe Taki, Diego, and Diaz, potentially, that could be a good front 3 going forward. As long as we can finish the business, then it's all right. But that is important to note that they did play bottom of the league and rested 6 of their players, so could be an interesting game the way they set up tomorrow.
Yeah, and please make sure that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're a small channel, we're growing, and your support means a great deal to us. So do make sure that you leave a like and subscribe on there. And Damon, I'm going to come to you. Do you start strong and then take people off, or do you start weak and then bring people on?
I think we start with a mixture. Not too strong. Also, we're not disrespecting Benfica here because we're not going to play under 23s. It's not like Carling Cup. But I'd put a mixture in there, put a couple of squad players in there, put a couple of strong players in there, like Robertson, like Henderson, like Jota. But we need these, like Salah, they need a rest. As much as we want to play them every single game, they physically can't. And we've got some huge game coming up. I can't see us losing, even if we play a second team. But I don't want to play a second team. Play a little mixture, a couple of first teamers, a couple of second teamers.
Yeah, it's the whole purpose of having a squad, isn't it? And just making sure that everyone's able to play, because you never know when you. And I think this is the thing, we don't know when we're going to need one of these squad players, and if they're not up to speed, they could cost us everything.
Yeah, 100%.
So who is I guess first on your list of that squad that need to be at full speed? If I take your favourite first 11, who's your next 3 that you'd bring in?
I reckon Virgil should definitely start tomorrow. But I also think, like you mentioned as well, Mo getting a goal, that could be interesting to see what Jurgen does tomorrow. But I think playing the likes of Taki, I reckon he'll need to come into play. Diaz and Jota could also do with even more goals to their name. But I also think Jones or Elliott, one of them two, I think them two and Keita are the 3 most important, because if we have a slight hiccup in midfield, I think one of them needs to come in and step in. And that could be very probable that they do play in at least 2 or 3 of the 7 games we've got left. One of Elliott, Jones, and Naby Keita.
Jones has shown it as well, though, hasn't he? In games where he's not expected to run the game, he's been quite quiet. But in games where he's got quite a pivotal and quite an important role, he really takes hold of the game, doesn't he? He really sort of drives it on. So I think this could be a really good opportunity for Curtis Jones, Damon. And I quite like him in that left central mid role. He's like a Thiago backup player almost. If he can get confidence up, isn't he?
The best game he played was against Porto, wasn't it, in the group stage? So it's a pretty similar outfit tomorrow. So yeah, you could give him a go tomorrow, if I'm honest. If him or Elliot, even both of them alongside Edison would be nice.
And we're gonna finish last sort of couple of minutes. We're gonna go with score predictions. I want half time, full time, and your first goal scorer. And Arnov, I'm gonna start with you. Seeing as you're getting so much love on the chat, you're gonna make the prediction. Remember.
I reckon at half time it will hopefully be 0-0, and at full time it will be 1-0 to us. And the scorer will be, I reckon it will be Diogo. Especially if he plays, yeah.
Damon?
I reckon it'd be another 3-1. I think it'd be 2-0 at half time, number 1-1 second half. I reckon Diaz will score first.
I'd love to see a dominant Diaz performance, and he knows how to do it against Benfica, especially with the home fans. I think there's a good chance. We've got Towie's going half-time 0-0, full-time 1-0, Taki to score. Not that you're passionate about your Asian players, Tar, but it's a good score prediction. I think we comfortably walk it out 2-3-0 for me. I think we score in the first half and it just breaks the spirit. Anfield overruns them and we go from there. Matthias 2-0, Diaz on 33 and Mo off the bench on 80. We've even gone for times on this one. So this has been LFC Transfer Room. This has been looking at the European Super League and preparation for Benfica. Been joined by Arnov and Damon. Make sure that you follow the Twitter accounts which are on here and all the lads in the description below. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing more content. I am pretty sure Louis will be doing a watch along with the game tomorrow so that you can see us hopefully get through to the next round. And we will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.